Welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans congregate and fanboys fear to tread. Another great race at France today. I don't know what they're talking about. Well, we don't have passing. We don't have this. It was great. They were rocking and rolling from lap 1 to the lap right at the end.
But who's talking about passing?
Passing, whatever. It was a great race.
I don't know. I thought it was okay until the end. Like, I will be honest, I was kind of snoozing for the first 14 or 15 laps. You know, the start was great. Bit of hustle bustle.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, no, it's not that. It's just, you just kind of, everyone was kind of gone into saving mode. But like, you kind of knew someone was going to pull the pin. Do you know what I mean? And when was that going to happen? It was just like, and it just, I don't know. Like I guess they were on the hard front tire. Majority of them were on the hard front tire and the soft rear tire. So kind of should have let you know at the start that there was going to be a race of protect the rear tire as much as you can. So the pace was definitely slow. But in those last few laps, fuck me, man. Yeah.
I thought it was a great race. I mean, they at least had half the race where they were, like full blast.
They didn't. No, they couldn't.
Sure as hell looked like it. They looked like they were on the edge.
No, the pace was quite a bit slower than yesterday's. Obviously, because it was a sprint yesterday. But
well, yeah, I think yesterday was abnormally fast. You know.
No. You see, there's a couple of things going on there in Le Mans.
And the records got shattered for qualifying, so it's kind of hard to step up from there.
Well, all the tire manufacturers, like from Moto 3, Moto 2, and MotoGP, said the tire wear is far less than expected this year in Le Mans. So I don't know, is that something to do with that? The World Endurance race was on just a couple of weeks there or what, I don't know. I don't think it stayed dry in France long enough for that rubber to stay there, if you know what I mean. But no, look, the wear was less, so the pace should have been a little bit hotter in that race, I thought. But the three boys, just funny. Like I was just sitting there and I was like, on the last lap, and I was like, Marquez is going to throw it, or else Marquez is going, Pecco is going to throw it, and Marquez is going to fucking win it. Like, you know what I mean? I was just sitting there, and I said it to the young fella, I was just like, this could be fucking carnage, or this could be just mighty. And to be fair, Mark's move was brilliant. It was like he came from the next.
Far back.
He came from the next town, but
yeah,
he wasn't the same.
As soon as he started, you could see what he was doing, and you're going, "Oh shit, he's too far back." You know?
Yeah, it was kind of one of those ones.
Like, exactly. Like, oh shit.
I won't lie, and I said it in the video.
You can almost see the headline: Marc Marquez at it again. Bashing people again.
Yeah, I took a deep breath in when he made the pass, because I was like, oh, this is going to end up in fucking tears. Like, I could actually see him bypassing Pecco and hitting Martin. That's at the initial break point. I was like, ugh. And
we'll take two at the same time. You know what I mean?
But fair play to him. Like, he made that apex, and he's really figured something out in the GP23 about how to be fast at the end of the race. Do you know what I mean? It really reminds me actually of how Bastianini was on the 2021 bike. He was really quick at the end of the race. Do you know what I mean? And he's found something, and very coincidentally, that was with the exact same team that Marquez is with. Do you know what I mean? So maybe they have found something. Maybe it's Mark himself, but
his confidence is great. His confidence is growing. He is getting where he doesn't mind. He feels comfortable hanging it out there.
Yeah, but look, I think they were all at the stage the rear tire was cooked. You know what I mean? And that's perfectly Marc Marquez zone, if I'm very honest.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the front
Yeah.
slides, the rear slides, and he just gathers it up. Now, I won't take anything away from Jorge Martin because he rode a fucking epic race as well. Do you know what I mean? And he dealt with Pecco sniffing at his fucking gearbox. Do you know what I mean? And putting him under serious pressure. Do you know what I mean? So look, Martin, I think it was absolutely. I won't say that he was alien-esque, but he was really good at dealing with the pressure of Pecco. Do you know what I mean? His confidence is up. I'll be honest, I don't envy the decision that Gigi and the boys have to make on who is the next teammate in there. Obviously, he left.
Pick, CB? If you had to do it right now, who would you pick?
That's a hard question. I mean, I think I would go Martin because he's up there. Martin is up there already. I mean, he's already doing the work. He's doing the job. But that interview, I was listening to that interview, and it doesn't sound too good from what he's saying. He was saying basically, what he's been saying. I want to go to the factory, but if not, I'll go somewhere else. So
yeah. Look, now to be fair, and like we put a bit of context into this, right? All of this has kind of come up again because Gigi said, that there's 3 riders and we have to look at not just the 2024 season, but their careers and all of this. And the internet has gone into fucking overdrive of, it's Marquez. And it could very well.
I couldn't even understand the point, the poignancy of that statement that Gigi made. I thought it was
It was basically telling us. It's basically telling us that in the next month or so, we're going to know the decision is going to be made. I think it's Mugello is. When's Mugello?
Yeah,
the end of June, is it? I can't remember.
I wouldn't have made that statement.
I don't. Yeah, that's confusing because they just said that Martin has only done 4 seasons, so he hasn't been there that long. I don't know.
Yeah, but look, that's kind of
you can't blame him for that. He can only be, you can only be there for so long. He's only so old, Yeah,
but I think no. But what I think he meant is that they're not just going to take what happens this year into account. They're going to take account into previous years and experience and all this, which is just kind of. I get what Gigi was trying to say. Gigi was trying to say. So, by the way, 3rd of June is Mugello. Oh, that's the test. Sorry, isn't it? So 2nd of June is Mugello. So by the end of this month, we will have some idea who will be riding that factory Ducati next season.
Doesn't that sound like Mark though? When you say we're taking everything, all of what I don't want to say the wrong words, but he's saying we're taking everything into consideration as far as.
It does sound like Marquez when you say that.
It does sound like Marquez, but it also does sound like Bastianini because Bastianini has only had 2 seasons on. Sorry, he's had 3. Obviously, this is his 3rd. I think it's his 3rd season. Maybe it's this 4th season, but he's only had one. He had the 2021 and 2022. Then he moved to factory for 23, and he missed majority of that. And then he's only riding 24. So technically, even with the 24, it's not enough to say, okay, we're going to judge that. So there's an awful lot there. It could very well be Marc Marquez. It would be a serious slap in the face to Jorge Martin if he said, Joe, if they didn't do it. I don't think it would be a serious slap in the face to Bastianini if they put Bastianini into Pramac because he's never been there before either. Do you know what I mean? Right. And like you could still say it with Bastianini is that like we'll put you in there, you're just not ready yet. Do you know what I mean? You need another couple of years, whatever. But it would be in my view, it would be a big slap in the face to Martin if they don't take him. But Martin can't shut his mouth. Do you know what I mean? Which Ducati don't like. I know, Jake, you go on about Honda and all of that. Ducati are just as bad. They do not like their riders.
No, not like that. Yeah, no one likes that. That's just no one like that. That's all.
What's wrong with what's wrong with what he's saying? He's just saying that so he's saying I deserve a factory seat, and that's what they don't like.
Yeah, but he's apparently he's quite aggressive with engineers in the box and stuff, like very temperament, very same as, not as bad, but similar to Elish, his best buddy.
But it's working. Is it working? Can you say that it's working, or are you saying it's counterproductive?
He's winning, right?
Right.
But the way Tardazzi,
by nature, they want to be there. Those mechanics, they're the best of the best, and they want to be there.
It's not a case of that, Jake. I think when they're all in separate teams, I think it's much easier to manage.
Oh yeah.
Right, because there's different doors and whatever. Like Martin won today, and you could see Gigi went straight over and congratulated them. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't give a fuck. Like, he does not care as long as it's Ducati winning.
Exactly.
Where he will start to care, though, and I'll reference this back to Jorge Lorenzo, Valentino Rossi. The first years that they were together in MotoGP was probably Yamaha's most unproductive year. Well, it was actually probably their most productive year, because I never saw a wall built so fast in my life.
I thought that was the first wall. I don't remember a wall being built before that.
No, there was a couple of them. The riders didn't want to share the data. There was a couple of walls. Yeah.
All right, I didn't know it.
And Ducati have a fairly open policy with data and this and that and the other. And I don't know. I see problems with both Mark and Jorge Martin going into the factory, where it will upset the apple cart quite a lot within the team. And Tardazzi, who I think it is about a 40 or 50%, about 40-45% stakeholder in who goes into the Lenovo team. I think Gigi has kind of the overall final say, but Tardazzi is the team manager of Lenovo.
Which my computer I bought was a Lenovo, by the way. My new computer.
So
just for that.
You had some stake in it too.
Yeah, so Lenovo is the factory team, so obviously he would have, in my view, he would have the highest say. Obviously, he'd have majority of the say after Gigi. So Gigi would sign it off, just being as the technical director or whatever. But I don't know. I couldn't see at the start of the season them taking Mark. His results are good, but I'm just still not sure of the attitude. Are they going to keep him in different teams? Now, saying that, Mark is a free agent, obviously, at the end of the season. I can't. Well, we know Grassini, apparently Grassini have sold to Yamaha. Can't see Mark on a Yamaha, so
he has to go to Pramac. That's the only place for him to go.
What in the world is with this guy, folks? These people, you got to start, reporting on YouTube. They're saying there's a guy going out, and he's a fanboy, a Chinese fanboy, going out and saying that Grassini has banned Marquez. Grassini has banned him kicked him off the team.
No.
Look,
there's like 4 different videos. They had the 4 different, Racer TV or whatever, MotoGP, whatever, the BS sites.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're getting away with it. But anyhow, he's not banned from there. There's no ban from Marquez from Grassini.
No.
It's just double checking.
Mm-hmm.
No. Why would they ban their best chance of winning a race this season?
I have no idea. It's just all over the internet. It's all over YouTube.
Yeah. Well, look, any dickhead can make a video. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not kicking people off though.
Yeah.
We stick once and then they give us hell. You know.
Actually, we're nearly at another milestone. So we rolled over to 11,000 subscribers yesterday.
Okay.
And I think, is this 97 or is this 98 podcast? We're nearly at the 100 podcast now. So.
All right.
Another milestone. Like, that's nearly 2 years of the podcast.
Yeah.
We do it every week.
We're veterans.
Podcast veterans. Anyway, I think, we're only a couple of weeks away from finding out. They're saying Mugello, that we'll know. And sure, Catalunya is back to back, isn't it? Yeah. So we have Catalunya first and then Mugello. So it should be interesting.
I think they made a decision already.
Probably have.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's well, that's saying that I don't know, because look, at the end of the fucking day, and you look at Pramac, for example, right? Borsoi keeps saying, you know, the contract with Ducati is signed for them for next season, but they're not fucking releasing it. Like, there is something going on, and you know, we did.
Yeah, and the tone they use is so stringent. It's like, we're definitely there. We have to be nuts to jump off. Blah blah blah. And then what? Well, if it's so signed, sealed, delivered, you'd have to be a nut to get off the.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you're sitting on a rainbow. Why don't you sign already?
Yeah, or like, you know, is there? Or turn around and say, yeah, we're going to announce it at Mugello.
Yeah, say it.
Yeah.
Give us some kind of date.
You know, whereas, like, it's not. It would be a formality of something rather than, you know, than news. You know, but yeah, look, maybe the decision, you're right. Maybe the decision is made. It will be interesting. Whatever is going to happen. Like, look, I'll be honest. For Marquez, I don't think it makes a fucking blind bit of difference. Like, he wants a factory bike. That's all he said. Right.
Yeah.
I want a 2025, but he hasn't said I want to go into the factory team. He hasn't said I don't want to go to Pramac.
He insinuated on it.
No, he said no. His exact words were, I want a factory 2025 bike.
Well, he also said
Pramac, that's all he needs.
A great team, but it's not a factory team.
For sure, we don't know where. No, I didn't see that bit of the quote.
Yeah. There was a different quote, but yeah.
Yeah, all he needs is a bike. That's it, and then he's good to go.
Yeah. Now, look,
that would be the best. That would be the best solution, don't you think? I mean, throw Martin over, to give him his factory ride. Put whatchamacallit at Pramac. Marquez at Pramac. Everybody's happy.
But yeah, they just said that in the press conference. But he said, give him a 2025 bike in Gresini, and it's like, you mean like for the rest of the year?
No. So this is where Gresini started falling out, I think, with Ducati, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we know, the VR46 team and Gresini team get the 2023. I'm going to call it A spec bike, not the B spec bike.
Okay.
And realistically, Gresini have signed a contract for 2025 and 26 to be on a 1-year-old bike. Okay, so now that they have Mark, and they're trying to keep Mark, and then they were trying to go back and renegotiate to say, well, we have Marquez. Do you know what I mean? We can sign him to a contract, but we need proper works equipment and full work support. But Ducati, and my understanding is, want to keep the 8 bikes on the grid. Very much so want to keep the 8 bikes on the grid.
I don't want to change that. No, that's just, I think that's to keep him away from somebody else. But
yeah, it is 100%. 100%. Yeah, keep him away from it. And he came out and he said, "What's his name?" I did a video on it, or I was going to do a video on it. And basically, the commercial director of it said, "Yeah, like I've been told by Ducati, we do not want to reduce the number of bikes on the grid." So that's kind of his way of saying you kind of have financial freedom to outclass Yamaha or whoever wants to take. So for me,
You're trying to block Yamaha? Is that what that is?
No, they're trying to keep the advantage that they have with 8 bikes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
For them, it's not a big advantage, but for Yamaha, it would be. Yamaha could use those extra bikes.
They need it.
Ducati, it's not that big of a deal, but to keep them away from Yamaha is probably more of a gain for them than
it's a block pass.
Yeah.
Yes and no, right? And hear me out on this, right? The fact that they have everyone using the same spec satellite bike, right, on the new type of rubber, right? They're understanding that rubber by 8, right? Whereas if they lost one, it would be by 6. Do you know what I mean? So they're having more and more data, and they already know the strengths and weaknesses of the 23, for example. So
yeah, they
can dial in that what's the changing in, and then that helps them in a way understand the 24
on the tires. But for like Yamaha, if they had those extra bikes, they could use it. Extra, they could use it much more than tires.
They need it. They need it.
Well, I'll be very honest with you, right? The tires are more important than the engine, the aero.
Yeah, tires are very important. I know that. Yes,
they are the black magic, right? They are. You can have a fucking 1,000 horsepower in your bike, boy. You can't put down that power, game fucking over. You can't feel that front end, game over. If you don't understand,
if Yamaha had it, they could use it for tires. They could use it for engine. They could use it for what I mean.
They could, but
they have more options for it.
But like realistically anyway, what is happening is Gresini have signed their contract for 25.
Mm-hmm.
Now VR46 is turning around and going, we don't want to be the fucking poor paupers. You know what I mean? We want to be a half a spec behind you. Do you know what I mean? So like we're not going to accept a 23A spec bike. We want a 23B spec bike. Or if we're going to so for me, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is where the whole thing is going on. And then Pramac are going, wait a second. No, we have a full factory contract with you, but you're giving them nearly factory spec bikes. Hold on a fucking second here now. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, unless there's a massive difference between end of 23 and start of 24, realistically, you're giving them tools to fucking beat us with. Do you know what I mean? Now, we're paying you more for the factory spec bikes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Our sponsors demand more keep our results up higher because of factory spec bikes. And all of a sudden, do you know what I mean? So I think that that there was a big grumbling in between it. And I think Gresini figured out, Nadia figured out, that they were going to be the fucking whipping boys of Ducati. They were going to be the poor paupers. Here's the hand-me-downs of hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
Do you know? And
well, the Gresini and VR46 were always dicing on the who's the bottom anyway.
They were and they weren't, because remember, Luca Marini on 22 was on a factory spec bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
The others were on the others weren't, or was there 23? I can't remember.
You got that in with the.
So there's definitely some merit there into what's going on, right? But I think then the other side of the coin, MotoGP is a very, very, very expensive business, right? And if like for example, I think if Gresini has gone to Yamaha, which is the word on the street, that it's a very smart move. And I know you're all going to look at me and go, what the fuck is this idiot on about? But I think it's a very, very smart commercial move, right? she already knows, or they already know, they're not going to get works equipment.
Right.
Right.
I say agree. It is a smart move.
So 99% fact, Marquez will not be in Gresini next season. Marquez, that is. So you could go to Yamaha and literally be, okay, I want works equipment. I will leave my Ducati. I will have Ducati engineers here who have, well, not Ducati engineers, but people who have worked on Ducati bikes for the last 4 years, 3 or 4 years or whatever. We know the bikes inside out, how to set them up. And then what's his name? Who was the Gigi's right-hand man who left?
Oh yeah, you know what you're talking about.
What's his name? I can't remember. But anyway, he's there. Do you know what I mean? And it's just bringing more into the thing. And I think you're getting your racing for near enough nothing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like Yamaha might want to put one rider in there, and you get a choice of the second one. But again, your majority of your equipment crash damage is going to be thing. Is it going to hurt some sponsorship? It is, and it's not. I don't think, right? It is in the way that maybe some of the current ones that would be expecting the results with Marquez will leave. But the new ones that you would bring in, you would be bringing them in under the expectation of this is a couple of rebuilding years with Yamaha. If you get me, yeah. So look, I think it's highly possible that that'll happen. It'll be down to 6 bikes. I think then at that stage,
and they get advertising for being the number one or closer to being number one Yamaha factory team. You get more you get more,
they get more support.
Yeah, more exposure to the media in that position.
And they would, they're, like, you're right there. But I just think the other part of it is that I think Ducati then will go to 6 works bikes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which will actually help them for the amount of workload that they have.
Yep. Yeah. 100%. And so I think VR46 will be staying with them. I think Pramac will.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and obviously the main factor thing. So I think there will be 6. Like Jarvis has guaranteed it. Now, saying that, Jarvis has also announced his retirement out of the sport too, and he could have been blowing smoke off everyone's ass and won't be around next year to deal with the shit pile. I'd probably do that too if I was leaving the job. But look, I think it was good.
I heard they're going to a friend of mine, a Yamaha guy, said they're going to a V4 in 2025.
If that V4 is gone in 2025 and want to be running now, we should have probably seen it in Jerez, really.
Yeah.
We should have heard about something right by now.
Well, like, it makes sense. It makes sense that Yamaha are going to go. I don't think that they've been doing a dual engine program for the last 2 years. Like, you don't shit a V4 engine out overnight, like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. Like,
it would be cool. It would be kind of cool.
I mean,
it would be very cool. Now, I still haven't heard anything on the regs about the engine freeze or the development freeze for engines. I guess it's resolved in some way, shape, or form. The Japanese are dead against it.
What'll happen is they'll want the Europeans to have a freeze and the Japanese to go.
No, that can't happen. That can't happen.
How many times have you said that one? Oh, that can't happen.
But it can't.
You know what they're holding over them? I bet you money they're holding over them the ultimate control of a factory, which is the RPM limits. They say if you'll if you'll do it, we'll tell you, or we're gonna hit you with the tried and true rev limits, and we'll shut you down.
Jake, you don't listen to any of our podcasts, man.
I do too. I listen to every one of them, but I'm telling you.
So there's remember this. There's a regulation there.
Yeah.
And unless all the manufacturers, which Ducati will not turn around. They've been screwed enough. Will not turn around and say, oh yeah, we're going to freeze there. We're going to do nothing. Not going to happen. Not going to happen in a fucking thing. You develop away your engine there, and we'll just go slower.
Yeah.
Bro.
Right. Well, the way they've been on their knees lately, you know what
I would 100% agree with you if it was one factory running away with everything. But what you're stating there is that they're going to turn around to the European manufacturers. So they're going to turn around realistically to 60% of the grid and say, we're going to put a rev limit on your bikes. That's not going to happen. They would never get away. Whatever with one factory, they might get away with it. But
you think they're going to go to Ducati and say yours are frozen and everybody else is going to be?
They're not going to do it. They're not going to go to Ducati. They're not going to go to anyone and say this.
They've been fighting. I remember being a kid and young and in Fast by Ferracci's, and they were deadly afraid. Every time we turn around, they said they're fighting with the sanction AMA or whatever. Were always up their butt for being good. At first, they gave them all the luxury in the world because they did a V twin will never be able to compete. Mm-hmm. They laughed at them. You're going to want a V twin to run against R4s? Yeah, knock yourself out. How many CCs you want? And they actually sandbagged in the beginning, so they knew they could out engineer him. They knew they could out engineer him from day one, and then they had to play with it because then they were just deadly afraid. Every time they turned around, they were getting nailed for something, anything. And that's been going on for God knows how many years, 30 years.
Yeah, but that's a really smart sporting director in a team, figuring out what they're fucking doing and trying to object against it. That's just competition, Jake. That is just fucking competition.
No. It's not one. It was always the sanctioning body versus Ducati. It was the Japanese in general against Ducati because they were beating them all the time. You remember the great debate over the twins were 1100 or 1000 cc's and the other ones were 750. The fours were 750 or something.
They were
actually went down to less than that when they were. They got down to the point where they were. When did Ducati win their title at? 814 cc's.
888. I thought it was. I thought there was an 888, and then
it wasn't 888. But I think they won it before that too.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, I think there's an awful lot of politics goes around in every sport. From how would I say, from Little League football, as he call it over here, or a soccer team, or whatever the fuck he call it over there, right? We call it football. Like from a small football club in the middle of fucking nowhere, there is hundreds of people in it, and they have hundreds of different agendas. I don't think it's any different in MotoGP. I think some people have an agenda. Some people don't. Some people, I still stand firm in my belief that the only reason concessions got in is that Gigi got his way on the 850. And
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I just can't fathom. I haven't figured out a reason what the hell he would want that 850 for.
Well, the famous saying, Jake, he's forgotten more than you and I know about in MotoGP.
Yeah. That's true,
and he has, right. So look, he's not doing. He doesn't do anything without a point, right? And I do
remember when I was young, they were always saying this. They said, "Why did you guys take this? Why don't you just leave?" And at the time, they were pretty far up, even Fast by Ferracci, because they just started there, the racing, and they said it's our only venue for advertising. They had it in their head that Ducati, the only way Ducati could advertise and be effective was through advertising, through racing.
Yeah, well, look at Ferrari.
Yeah, it's about the same. F1,
prime example of it. Ferrari.
Ferrari loses money every year, though.
Yeah, but Lewis Hamilton signed there, and their fucking shares went up by $2 billion.
So. Don't even start me with stock and why stocks go up.
I know, but like
You're supposed to know this stuff when you're supposed to be a whiz kid at this stuff, and you have no idea why something went up. That's when times are bad. You're going, I don't know.
Yeah, but no, but like that's what it is. But Ferrari and Ducati have the same business model, right? Yes, they're there. They make bikes and cars to race, right? But they only ever make a couple of bikes short of what they know that they can sell. And it's a really, 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 really good mechanism, right? Because every manufacturer, when you look at like BMW, Honda, all of those, like they mass produce bikes, and like if you would say to them, how many R1s are you going to build? As fucking many as we can every year, right? If you go to Ducati and you say, how many V4Rs are you going to build this year? 800.
800, that's it.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that hits a magazine, right? And everyone's like, oh, fuck, I better order my fucking Ducati now because there are only going to be 800 of them. Right? And no matter what you do, for the rest of your fucking life, you will wholly believe that there was only 800 of those bikes built because Ducati said there's only 800 built. And it puts one of 800 on that. Do you know what I mean? And it's just premium thing.
You know that? They put on the bike.
They do, yeah.
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 My MV has it on there. The Ducati has it on there.
I'd love to know there. So there is speculation out there, and this is where the story comes from. That the Ferrari Enzo car, when they were building those first, my understanding was that they were going to build 349, one less than they know that they can sell immediately, right? And then they launched it, and they were like, oh, fuck, whatever. And people saw it, and next month the orders came in. So they built 399 official ones. They built a 400th one for the Pope. Right?
For the Pope.
Yeah. But my understanding is that there's about 600 Ferrari Enzos actually registered.
600. Jeez.
Figure that one out.
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck with the Pope.
Imagine the Pope going down and giving the fucking finger. What are you stopping me for, bollocks? But anyway,
I'll pull the Pope over. That'd be funny.
So, like, I always
going
wonder.
to hell. You need a ticket?
So I always wonder when these specials come out and whatever, one of 800.
You know there was a Ferrari motorcycle.
Yeah, but realistically, right? Have they just have they ordered like two? Have they have they ordered or printed 3 one of 800s on it? So do you know what I mean? And so 2,400 things. But anyway, but again, it's Ferrari and Ducati are the same principle. They sell on prestige. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to build hundreds of thousands of bikes a year. Do you know what I mean? Like what they want to do when they launch new models, so like really new models, so like the off-road section, they'll build a shit ton of those. But like any of their prestige bikes, because the more they sell them, the lower the value. Yeah. Like you can, like I was looking at a 916 there a couple of weeks ago, not in really good condition, right? In okay condition. And they're still getting 9 sterling, which is what $13,000 for a fucking 1994 bike.
Yeah.
So that's it's not bad at holding their value, if you know what I mean. So but anyway.
That Super Veloce is coming up. It's supposed to be right there with the 916 is the most beautiful motorcycle that actually runs and
I did see a Super Leggera on yesterday.
The MV Super Veloce 1000. There's an 800 too, but the 800 looks skimpy, but the 1000 is smoking.
Yeah,
I
saw
mean, it's really sharp. The 1000.
I saw the Superleggera at the match yesterday. I was in Wolverhampton in the United Kingdom yesterday with my young fella for a match, and this fella had a Superleggera. I was like, "What the fuck are you bringing a Superleggera to Wolverhampton for?" You know, like you don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I couldn't have a bike that if I dropped it. Imagine how much it cost to drop it.
Listen, look, if you're worried about fucking dropping it, then you can't afford to buy it.
I can afford to buy it, but you know what? I still don't want to drop it.
Yeah, but like if you have to worry about if I drop it, don't buy it. Just don't buy it.
Well, you stuck.
Like a Lamborghini, I guess. You'll get it fixed, I guess.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you've enough money to piss it down the fucking drain and buy a bike that'll probably over time, you'll probably. But actually, I don't think the Superleggeras will hold major money. Do you know what I mean? Now, if you bought one of those Demosici replicas, no, that's a fucking bike to buy. Do you know what I mean? That one will.
A what?
I'll send you on a link later. But if you get one of those, the RR versions of it, they're class. They're still holding about 90 grand sterling. And they're about 10 years old now at this stage. It was really weird with Aprilia today. Actually, I couldn't figure out like what cooler temperatures. The bike seems very weird to cool temperatures. You know, we saw it in the rain. You know, it didn't handle, and they were blaming it that they were right tires, wrong moment. Or right tires, I don't know what the fuck they were saying. But you know, today the temperature was down quite a lot. It was cloudy. It just didn't perform. Now, look, Elate and Maverick didn't do too bad, but you know, Maverick coming into this weekend was fucking all bullish that, you know, this is the best track for Aprilia. We're going to be very strong here, and I don't think to be.
What is that, bud?
Huh?
Because we don't have an alien rider on it, and the Ducatis have the alien riders. You really don't know exactly how good the Aprilia is. You know, if they had apples for apples, and you just took one of those, you took Marquez and threw it on the Aprilia or something, then you kind of know where he's at.
Yeah, but then I suppose, look, Marquez, you put him into a bathtub and he'll go around the
all right, do somebody else. If you throw Bagnai on it, okay, or you know, Martin on the Aprilia, and you said, see how fast it is, and then you know exactly where you're at. It looks pretty damn good for having.
It does look pretty.
Rider on there.
It does look pretty good, but you know, when Aprilia got out accelerated out of the chicane by a Yamaha. Just saying.
Oh, didn't get beat by the Yamaha, did it?
He did. Yeah, he was not coming out of the chicane. Okay, now he may have had a better line, so he had more speed, but still in the acceleration, the V4 should have fucking kicked its hole. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, I was very surprised. And Brad Binder, lads, oh my god, talk about having a fucking horror show. Like to be fair, he did come back through the race in a good way, but he had an absolute pig of a weekend, like qualifying last.
Oh my god, yes. He couldn't make that in a woman's prison with a carton of cigarettes. But that's what's been happening to him lately. It's not like just today. I don't know what's going to happen with Binder. Is he forgot how to ride?
Look, I always believe no rider ever really loses their speed, right? But I think Acosta has upset things a lot inside in KTM. And that's just my own.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing, yeah, but I just think
it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. If it shakes it up so bad that everybody's discombobulated, then it can be a bad thing. Like the only thing they're concerned about is the kid. You know what I mean?
It's the kid, yeah. And I think look, I think there's something going on within there. I think there's a lot of confusion. You know, Acosta is one of these lads similar to Mark, Pecco, and etc. he can just ride around anything, right?
Right.
And like you put him into the fucking bathtub, and
Yeah.
he will put that bathtub on its nose every corner.
Yeah.
When other fellas can't even get it to go over sideways, right? So, and he just has that natural feel and gift, and what that then does is that it starts to show not the true potential of the bike, but it's the lack of potential of the other riders.
Right. And you do not want to have their development circle around Acosta's. Well, especially Acosta. If he can ride anything, right? You don't want to follow his path for development, because he could be one direction and ride fast. He can go another direction, ride fast.
No, I think what they're going to do with that is they're going to. No, and KTM and that's silly that they're going to be following a rookie's development or whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
I still think, and I think what they'll probably do is move Danny Pedrosa closer to Acosta than say Binder.
Yeah.
To understand what he needs, and then Danny develop that in a way of. That is
translator.
Yeah.
Well,
Danny is one of the best at doing that. Like if you look at what he's done with KTM, to be fair, right? Honda literally. Now, look, he was never going to be a test rider for Honda because he doesn't want to ride bikes around Japan all the time. He didn't want to be flying away to Japan and then fucking doing 3 days test in Japan and then fly home. Do you know what I mean? So, like flying over to Austria for 2 days, an hour or two flight from Spain, or wherever he's going to test. You know what I mean? It kind of floats his boat a bit more. But yeah, I think they'll have him working to help Acosta, one, but B, then to make sure that while they're giving Acosta what they want or he wants, it's not fucking up the bike for everyone else. And Danny is really good at delivering that feedback. Do you know what I mean? Plus, Danny is the only one that has dealt with a super alien. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no one else in that team has dealt with a super alien. None. So
that's perfect.
Yeah. So I think that's where I think I would put it. Like a pig of it. Now, Acosta. We saw him fall today, and it was only a matter of time before this started to happen. Do you know what I mean? Where he was pushing his luck and pushing it right over the edge in a race. Every time we've seen him up to now, we've all kind of said, like, how the fuck is that whole front end holding on? Do you know what I mean? And now he's gone over the lid, haunted not to be hit by Digi. But I think
he's like tripped over. He ran at a distance. He tripped over the back. His front tire hit who was it? Somebody's back tire.
Yeah, so Digi's front hit Acosta's rear tire. Yeah,
Acosta's rear tire. Yeah, okay.
So it was very, very lucky. But look, again, you do expect this to happen as well. I wouldn't really expect it to happen in Catalonia, if I'm honest. Now I think he'll smarten up for Catalonia, but the Le Mans racetrack with the, how would I say, it's like the couple of the corners they're just off camber apexes. Do you know what I mean? And they can catch it. Do you know what I mean? Very, very quickly. So, but still, like, he's fucking. In a very good way, he's very dangerous, like, because he's moved the needle inside in KTM now to say this is what the bike is actually is, right? And like 3 of them are down towards the back, and your man is still somewhere in the top 10. Do you know what I mean? You're just saying, like, this is the difference that the alien makes. Honda. Do you know who's having a brilliant race today?
Mir.
Mir was having a brilliant race. We'll talk about Yamaha in a minute. Mir was having a brilliant race today.
Yeah, I'm seeing something. I'm seeing something with him over there.
They changed nothing in the test. He just focused on different setups and he found a direction. And to be fair to him, had he not come off, he was battling in around 10th, 11th, 12th place, which is not bad.
He's doing some work over there, some good work.
You know, like Luca Marini is 40 seconds behind in 26 laps. Or whatever, it's 27 laps.
Wow.
Right? Takanaki Gami was 30 seconds. Did you know what I mean? So, like, Mir was and I have to take my hat off. Like, he's found something. He's working on it.
Mm-hmm.
I am delighted that he crashed. And I know that sounds very stupid, right? But I would prefer to see him.
Now, you mean Mac?
I would prefer to see him crash trying, than come home with being okay with being like a second a lap off the pace.
Oh, okay.
And Ataka.
You know, exactly. For me,
it's a crash. At least it accomplished something.
You're trying. Do you know what I mean? And like where he was when he crashed, I think I could be wrong. People would probably correct me. I think he was somewhere around 13th or 14th at that stage. And if he didn't crash, there was a load of them that crashed ahead of him, so he would have been top 10. Fabio Quartararo had an absolutely epic race. Now, look, you don't expect anything less from him either, though.
Mm-hmm.
Your home Grand Prix, right? Couple of cans of fucking Monster Energy into the bike. Do you know what I mean? In a way. But saying that, he was aggressive at the start. You know, he was battling with Aleix Espargaro, and like he did him well too. Like, do you know what I mean? So
he was trying again for a while there. He wasn't. He was just tossing it up. He was just. You didn't notice he was like tossing the talent. You know, he was saying, "I'm pissing, this thing sucks." Now he seems to have a little bit of revamped where he's going, "I'm going to give it a shot. I'm riding it." He's willing to do that 110% deal again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The new engine, is that what it is?
Just his attitude is he's just giving it a better shot.
So there's no new engine. It's only just an update.
Is that no new engine? Okay.
Yeah, everyone was saying it's a new engine, and it's still an inline 4, right? Yeah. So let's just, you know, it's not new. It's fucking old tech that they've been running for years. Yes, there's an update to it. Mm-hmm. Majority of people in this world believe they shouldn't have the opportunity to be doing that update in the middle of the season, which I don't disagree with. And I'm a Yamaha fan.
You don't know the ag we had to go through to get people to say, listen, the inline 4s had his day. We had people scream at us, lying to us. You know, it was unreal.
But that's what Fabio is saying too. Hey, it's not. That's all. We're at the top, like with the inline 4. We can't do anything else. I mean, so.
But you see, it's not just the engine CV is the problem, right? But the engine creates problems. Mm-hmm. If you get me right. If you look at the inline 4, obviously you 4 pots going across the frame, right? Mm-hmm. And in the V4 you only have 2, right? Now look at the world of aerodynamics and packaging, right? Mm-hmm. And the V4 sticks out, let's just say, a cylinder on either side, right? Now if you could suck that in and create and use that area for aerodynamics or to drive more downforce or whatever you want to do with it, all of a sudden you change the whole aspects of your aerodynamics. Mm-hmm. Where when you look at Yamaha, their belly pan is actually full. If you look at Aprilia and Ducati and all of those, their belly pan is not full. Do you know what I mean? And there's probably wings and fucking levers and louvers and fucking that we can't see inside that to drive air whichever way they want to. Do you know what I mean? Cool this, cool that, cool use off.
It's physics.
It is, but it's
mechanics, physics.
Yeah. And like there's so much going on that's not even visible to us, but it's been prevented in Yamaha's case because the engine is so wide. If that makes sense. so they can't maximize the aero. Then also, because it's fatter, you know what I mean, it's more draggier. Do you know what I mean? So even on just the basic thing, so again, this is where when we talk about like the European mindset of engineering a bike, someone sat down in KTM or Aprilia or Ducati and said, okay, we want to have a fast, punchy bike out of the corners, high top speed, but these are our engine types. Okay, now we also want to have downforce on the bike, and we want to have ground effect, we want to have this, so then when they were choosing the engines and components and whatever, they were like, okay, this is our best option. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Yamaha, because they do not understand the aerodynamics. Now, I found out who Yamaha are using for their aerodynamics.
Oh, look at you.
Should I do a video on it, or should I tell people right now?
I say both.
I'll tell people right now. So Yamaha are working with Dallara. Who are Dallara, I hear you say, Connor?
Mm-hmm.
So Dallara they do the IndyCars. They make the IndyCars. They do the aero and design for the Haas Formula 1 car. And then they do the GP2s. They do a lot of small other singles, well, not small, but other single-seater applications and stuff like that. So they know their shit when it comes to aerodynamics. I would class that literally as a Formula 1 team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have partnered with Dallara, and feel free to Google it after what Dallara and who Dallara supply, but it is a big investment to get.
So that's new. That's a new partnership, is what you're saying.
That's what started this year. So their first, the first one that they brought out at the very start of this year was Dallara. That front skinny wing.
That wing looks like off of an F1 car. It looks like the exact same. It's like a copy.
Yeah, and the three elements of the new wing as well. So, it is interesting to just to understand what they're doing. So like for me now, and I can only guess for the likes of Fabio on that when he was deciding about re-signing and this, that, and the other, is like knowing that this sort of size partner is a very, very big commitment to make, because Dallara aren't cheap. I can tell you that now, right? They outsource their work to many, many big teams in Formula, like not big teams, but Formula 1 teams, Le Mans series racing teams, etc. So they would be they would be a very common name.
Let's put it that way, right?
Huh?
They're big enough, is what you're saying.
They're big enough, but they're not cheap either. Joe, I mean, it's not like Joe Blogs down the road there doing a Fox.
Yeah.
It's
not a discount aero house.
No. This one would be a big partner. Let's just say. So it is interesting to see what's going on. But again, saying that, same with Honda, I don't really expect to see the fruit of their work till definitely after mid. Like I would be expecting to see the bike that they launched in the Misano test to be a big step forward.
I hope it's something with the chat. I hope that but I think their weakness. Oh, it's aero too, but the chassis. I heard some people saying it in the comments, like chassis.
You see, yeah. Now, Yamaha are really good engineers, but for some reason, when they put any bit of horsepower through that chassis, it just folds, and they haven't got the chassis right since 2018. Let's be very fair and very honest. So, I don't know, like realistically, I think the inline 4 has good middle power, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the bike can't take it. You know what I mean? So realistically, I don't think they're using their full power. Like Marmoni I'm sure is doing a good job on the engine, but I don't think that they can use it the way they want to use it, and that's more down to aero and chassis. If I'm very honest, and I can honestly say that I really honestly appreciate everyone honestly giving me feedback about me saying honestly.
Yeah, we all have our quirks. You know?
Yeah, but I don't look worried.
You're not worried. I'm not worried about it either.
At
least we are honest. We're not saying that Grassini's shutting Mark out and throwing him out in the street and to get clickbait.
Right, clickbait. Yep.
Yeah. All the other fanboy crap that they get for clickbait.
Yeah, Northwest 200 was on as well, lads. I don't know. Did you watch the stream that I did?
I did some of it. Yes,
a little bit of it.
Yeah, it was class. Absolutely epic.
You got a lot of people subscriptions from that too.
We did. We hit the 11,000 with that. But no, it was cool. We'll do something for the TT. I don't know exactly what, but we do something for the TT as well.
Some of that too.
Some of the people who might not have ever seen the Northwest 200, those guys have balls, man. Have absolute balls. Like, you look at Jeremy Wack-Williams, people will know Jeremy from racing in MotoGP. 60 years of age, and he fucking still have at it. Like, do you know what I mean?
And let me tell you, I can tell you from this experience that when you're 60 and you go down, it's not the same. You don't have, you don't bounce the same as you used to.
Like, but like he's still with it. Like, do you know what I mean? And then of course, like John McGuinness getting on the podium, man, like that's just epic. I look at John and I'm like, we look like the same in letters. So I'm like, maybe it's possible.
I wouldn't say that. You wouldn't put yourself down that much. John McGuinness is so fast. He's so fucking ugly. He has nothing to live for.
I don't know though. He is a nice RV, man. I'd be living for that RV.
You can buy an RV. You can't buy looks.
But I can look at people from my RV, so I'd be fucking happy out. You know what I mean? People cause problems, Jake. You should know that. Don't be bringing more people in than you need. But no, it was epic. It was brilliant. And then we have the TT. What, 2 weeks time? 2 weeks, I think, to the TT. So we'll do something for the TT. But yeah, I think look, I wasn't particularly looking forward to the Le Mans race because I think
a lot more people that I thought showed up there.
Yeah, they nearly hit 300,000. Now, I'm going to be skeptical on this again because they fucking were celebrating nearly 300,000 at Jerez or whatever it was, and then they go, it was fake. So, but yeah, no, look, the grandstands looked packed. And my understanding with that, I was watching TNT Sport and Susie Perry, who I'm a big fan of. She's also a Wolverhampton Wanderers fan. Said that the promoter apparently dropped the prices and made it affordable for everyone to go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So and as well, look, they have two riders there who what I will say is that two riders that would be, how would I say, friendly. Do you know what I mean? That they're sound. Do you know what I mean? They're not fucking pricks to the media or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So, there was a lot of stuff around, and you can see the riders parade. I don't know. Did you watch that on the app this morning?
No, I didn't see that. Yeah.
But it's actually something Formula One used to do for years. I don't know how long MotoGP are doing it now. Maybe it's this year, maybe last year, but they're towed around the track in a trailer and they wave to the fans and they throw t-shirts.
They do that. Yeah, I think they started that last year in MotoGP.
Was it last year? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, but it's just kind of funny because it's like a small little fucking trailer, right? Not small. It kind of is small, right? But like when you look at a Formula One, then right, there was a fucking full Arctic trailer. Do you know what I mean? That was really professionally done. Here we have a fucking trailer hooked onto the back of a BMW and away off we go. It's just funny, like.
Like they do that too. It's like a a farm trailer or something. This is a buckboard flat trailer with 4 wheels on it. They stand up on it and throw t-shirts. You know, use a
Right.
t-shirt ejector off.
Oh yeah, but look, it's cool.
Mhm.
Joe, like anything to get more interactive with the fans.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm all down for it, because at the end of the day, yes, people are there to see the brands of motorbikes. The majority of fans are there to see their favorite rider. Do you know what I mean? And their favorite rider will go to another team and they follow. They'll follow that. Like, it's quite unique compared to Formula One. A lot of Formula One people would be brand fans rather than thing,
right.
but that is changing. That is that it's followed the driver. Do you know what I mean? So no, but look, I thought look, it was a really good event. I was watching the Moto 3 race. The stewards, I don't know, like stupid fucking long lap penalties for non really, someone's having a go and they make a fucking mistake of it.
I mean that contact that happened.
What's the contact? I don't know.
What was it? Rossi? Was it that one?
Well, the Rossi one, yeah, that was Ricky Rossi or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That one was okay. Do you know what I mean? But we saw a couple of long lap penalties for people getting in. Like, and look, this just might be is just like I do expect a bit of contact when racing. Do you know what I mean? And if you're going underneath someone and the person on the outside of you knows you're there, you got to give. Do you know what I mean? You got to give. You're not on the racing line. You're not on the optimum line. You don't give, and you get taken out. That your fault. Do you know what I mean?
It's not perfect. It's or you ever notice when people say if anybody falls, it's something along the same line. If somebody falls, it's not always a mistake. Sometimes you're just at the edge. You did everything right, and you're just at the edge, and you want to hair over, and you go down. People come down on the rider and say, "Oh, look, you made a mistake." He didn't make a mistake. He was just part of racing. It's going down.
Yeah, but there's
you have a DNF from a mechanical failure. They're racing. They're
but for me, but there's a very fine line between rubbing and berging. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's where that line between rubbing off someone.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And berging. Do you know what I mean? And that's a very fine line in people's heads. Do you know what I mean? Like, Mark doesn't know how to rub. He only knows how to bash.
No, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's stuff like that. And then that causes the confusion. Now, look, I do find it very funny that Zarco was giving, what's his name, grief. Freddie Spencer grief. Now, look, I'll be honest. Freddie Spencer needs to get out of the steward's office, if I'm honest, at this stage. Do you know what I mean? He's too old and too far from racing. Yes, if he was very good in his day, but they need someone that understands a little bit more the current type of riding. Back then, you wouldn't necessarily, like, back then, you were creeping forward. When he was racing, you were creeping forward on the starting grid. Do you know what I mean? Before the start of the race, because it was allowed. Do you know what I mean? You were racing hard, but you were never going shoulder to shoulder with someone, if you get me. Or when if you look at the position on their bikes, for example, it's a real perfect example. If you look at the position on their bikes, their arse was lower than their shoulder. Do you know what I mean? Whereas nowadays, their shoulder is lower than their arse when they're banking into a corner. Jakey looks very confused.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
So if
leaning on the shoulder.
Yeah, but if you
yeah.
So if you ever watch them, right? Normally in the olden days,
right,
it was they kept one butt cheek on the seat.
Yep.
And the other butt cheek would nearly rub the ground, right? Where now it is that the shoulder is rubbing the ground.
Yep.
And the butt cheek is nearly up onto the seat. Do you know what I mean? So but with that comes a natural thing of, like, for example, when you look at Acosta there today, right? He knew Maverick was there, but he couldn't see him. Do you know what I mean? In Freddie Spencer's day, you would have seen him. Do you know what I mean? Because your head would have been up so high.
Yeah.
And that's
Ewan,
kind
of. Ewan would go like this.
Well, because
he was above everybody. He kept himself up high.
I don't think he had a choice, though. I think that was the only way he could actually ride.
Now he actually did that before. I'm sorry, but Doohan was the most overrated rider. I mean, he didn't win until everybody else was busted up, retired.
Oh man, you're gonna get some hate.
Brady was out.
No, he did. He did.
You're gonna get the fanboys.
I know.
But this is true. I mean, I'm just everybody else was retired.
Doing was good though. I have to admit.
He was good. Yes, I know.
He was good.
He was bad, folks, but.
Look, you could technically say that about Marc Marquez, right? Right. Yeah. There's no one around to challenge him for a good number of years. Do you know what I mean? So,
who was the underrated one? I thought was always Wayne Gardner.
Yeah,
Wayne Gardner has serious speed to him.
But my point with your man is that he's from that old school thought of racing, where there was some bit of respect. You know what I mean? Whereas nowadays there's not, and like you saw with Digi Antonio today, there is no fucking respect for anyone. Mark had 8 titles and he fucking hung him out in the middle of that corner, and he was like, "You're going to crash because I'm not going to live it and let go." Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Did you see that? It was out into turn 3 and 4, or turn 2 and 3 in the chicane. Anyone to go balls to the wall with Mark like that, realistically, is basically giving him a middle finger and saying, bitch, you ain't gonna fucking bully me. You know what I mean? So
I saw that and I thought he must be thinking these new kids are not the same as they used to be.
But he's a good sport about it. He's not complaining.
He don't mind. He don't mind.
But he cannot complain.
Yeah, he can't.
No. So, right, you say he's a good sport, right? He's fucking inside in this fucking room then after, and he's moaning and bitching, right? But he won't do it publicly, right? Because everyone will turn around and say, well, and someone will drop a fucking list there and say, well, you need to go and apologize to all these people. So if you're going to start, you know what I mean? You need to. So he can't, and his persona and ego can't do that, right? And like if you look at the whole Rossi downfall thing.
I was just about to say that. He tried to apologize to Rossi, though. He tried to apologize, and Rossi was like, nope.
Listen, right? If someone did to me what he did to Rossi, right, I would bury the bastard. And I mean, like, there would be no shaking hands. There would be no even thing. Do you know what I mean? The next time I see you, you know, and you understand, I'm going to knock you the fuck out.
That's when the kick came in. Oh, no, was it? I keep getting it mixed up. The kick was
first. Rossi started.
Yep.
So Rossi started it. To be fair, Rossi started it with moaning about Mark. Mark started toying with him. The famous kick. I would actually love to know, did the kick actually happen? Because Mark is an astute fucker too, right? Mm-hmm. And Mark could have pressed the brake. Do you know what I mean? Really fuck him over. Right, which it did, right? So, because Mark's championship was over anyway, he wasn't going to win that race. Do you know what I mean? Right. So I always look at it in the way of, was he kicked or did he outfox Rossi? Do you know what I mean? And the disqualification and whatever. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. But for me, when I look at it,
the conspiracy.
Right? We talk about conspiracy. You had that last race, right? And Rossi had to come up from whatever it was, last or second to last, because he got that penalty. He comes all the way up, and I swear to God, all of a sudden, Marquez did not know how to ride anymore. He could have passed Lorenzo 4 or 5 times and didn't. It was so blatant. Now, and they're not even on the same manufacturer. You would think that the sanctioning body would have stepped in and said, "Hey, cut the crap. We got to, no way." just can't stand. You can't.
Yeah, but you see, the appeals process goes outside the governing body. So it went to the World Motorsport Council, not to the FIM.
Oh, I thought it would go to somebody saying, "Hey, listen, you can't do that. You can't, block somebody from, he affected a championship right there.
Right. It's like they were helping each other out when they're in different
were.
teams.
Yeah. Look, like, for me, when I look at it, like, to being honest, I didn't really give a shit about it. To be fair, right?
You know me, I'm all about everything being on a level playing field. Whether if it's this or it's the manufacturers who has, with engineering, whatever. I always went on a level playing field. So.
Yeah. No, but look, then the other side of the coin. Mark can never turn. Mark has bumped and bashed so many people. Mark can never turn around and say.
Never.
So go back to my point, right? Rossi's persona of being the fucking smiling assassin changed when he started moaning about what Mark was doing, and Mark was like, he openly admitted. Yeah, and I always remember in the interview with Susie Perry, he openly admitted that he was afraid of Marc Marquez when he didn't like riding with Mark. He didn't like riding with Mark so close. So
who is that? Who is this?
Rossi. And that for me, and that was in, I think that was 2017 or 2016 or 2017. And basically what that kind of said to me was that he was afraid of him. And then that kills the aura of Valentino Rossi. Now, I think if Mark was to turn around now and start complaining, "Oh, did Gianantonio push me out?" or "Joe, he didn't leave me much room," or all of this, that would bring Mark back to being a whinger. Do you know what I mean? And not, okay, not live by the sword, die by the sword sort of ego that he likes to have. So I think it's kind of interesting in that kind of, and I think over the next number of years, because they're not getting any slower, these new lads coming in, like they're only getting faster, right?
Yep.
They're getting more brave, and they have less respect. Now, look, they have respect to a point, but like the fact that you have 8 world titles means fuck all. And
when the lights go out, all that's out the window.
Exactly. You focus. There's a famous saying. Do you ever hear of the man hunched over his motorcycle? Do you ever hear that saying?
No.
It's a really, really good saying. One second. What is it? So it is. Let me just bring it up here. The man hunched over his motorcycle can only focus on the present. He is caught in a fragment of time cut off from the past and the future. He has no fear because the source of fear is the future, and a person freed of the future has nothing to fear.
In the present.
So it's all about presence.
Mm-hmm.
And, whereas I think when Mark, or when you look at like the young Acosta, what he's doing, like he has the knack, right? He's a very, very fast rider, right? But he has a smart little knack around him, and he reminds me so much of Rossi, because they were talking about his save during Friday's practice, and he just kind of smiled at the camera and he looked and he's like, well, this is the best thing about being in MotoGP, because all the cameras are always on you in MotoGP, so you actually get to catch all these saves that weren't being caught when I was in Moto 2 and Moto 3. And it's just like real fucking, like, it's nothing new to me. Do you know what I mean? This is just, Joe, it's new to you. Like, yeah. But it was a cheeky way of putting it. And it reminded me of kind of like a Rossi comment. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think he's the biggest threat to Marc Marquez. And I think Mark now understands it. Do you know what I mean? Like, realistically. And I'll say this. Put Pedro Acosta on a Ducati, who would win then between himself and Mark? A lot of people are talking about Mark on the Ducati and this, that, and the other. And if he had the 24 he would have been beating them all, and you're just like, Mark is expected to be up there, right? Top 5 rider for sure, right? Everyone had doubts about Mark's ability, and anyone out there that said they didn't is a complete and utter bullshitter, because even Mark had fucking doubts of whether he had it or not.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So let's be fair and straight in that, right? So, but like that's my answer to people when they're going on about put Mark on a Ducati and he'll wipe the floor with everyone. Put Pedro Acosta on the same Ducati as Mark.
Yeah.
And let's see what fucking happens. Got a 5 races.
Yeah, Pedro has 20 or 19-year-old reflexes, and he's dealt with a rear bias tire his whole life, or his whole career, whatever we want to call it.
And he bounces well.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is he doesn't have any bad habits to unwind.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And this is why Mark is gelling so quickly with the Ducati, is that he's come off a bike that wouldn't turn, wouldn't accelerate, wouldn't grip, wouldn't do this. He's got onto a bike that does now all of this. Do you know what I mean? And he's like that fucking moment on the Titanic where he's like, I'm king of the world. Like, he's just like, yes, and as he explores that, yes, I think he'll bring the limit up. But I still believe in the 24, there's an awful lot of unlocking left to do.
Oh, yeah.
And I went back to the 23, and
I think there's more to unlock in the 23 for him.
For Mark?
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to get the B spec. The B spec is the unlocked version of the 23.
Right.
Do you get me?
Yeah. I just never can't understand why they're not unlocked. They're not releasing that. That doesn't make sense to me. Why they're not unlocking? Why not releasing the B spec one? Yep.
I don't know. I think it's down to the contract. And you see, at the end of the day now, right? Ducati are in the position where they can dictate who gets what. Do you know what I mean? And if you don't want what we're offering you, right?
Yeah.
Who's like, what are you going to buy? A Yamaha? You're not going to buy a Yamaha, right? You're maybe a KTM. Will they supply 6 bikes? They want to.
I feel sorry for I feel sorry for Ducati just getting the shit kicked out of them every time they go. It has to be disheartening to develop stuff and have somebody going through the mill every time they get something good. And they're like, okay, it's going to have ag, it's going to have bullshit.
Yeah, but look, that's unfortunately that's racing, and like that's what you said. Like,
I mean, it's gotten to the point of being ridiculous. I mean, we have a whole sport that's revolved around making the Japanese competitive when they have weak engineering. Wouldn't it be so much easier if they had better engineering?
You keep beating this drum, right? At the end of the day, Jake, right? At the end of the day, I don't want to see 3 European manufacturers just riding around. I want to see as many manufacturers coming into the sport.
So does everybody else, but don't make it so it's controlling the situation. This is sport.
But Jake, I've openly said I don't agree with the concessions. I understand why they're doing them, right? I don't agree.
I know. I didn't say you were disagreeing with me.
Yeah, but it's just at the end of the day, Honda and Yamaha are so fucking far behind. It is actually laughable.
I think they would actually. What do you say? Necessity is the mother of invention. I think they would probably do better if they had to. If they had a gun to their head.
But they have to.
If they know that they're going to keep giving them more and more and more, so like a kid, they're gonna stretch it out more. They're not going to push so hard. I think they're going to push harder when they have to do it.
But no, Jake. Let's be very fair now, right? The limited amount of testing time that they do have, right?
Right.
They're never going to catch up. If everything stood the same, they would never catch up at all.
I can't fathom that. There's so much. If everybody had the same testing, right? A level playing field, they would never catch up.
They wouldn't. They're so far behind now. The only the opportunity that they actually have to catch up, and this is my genuine thing, is the regulation
I
change.
just don't get that. Not with the difference of money that they have. Yes, I'm better. Money's a lot of.
But Jake, 1 second now, right? Money is one thing, right? They can't correlate to what they're doing on track to a computer. So when they go, they have to be right? There is not like 200 tires or whatever it was a year. It's not enough, and Ducati are developing with 200 tires as well, right? So they're already ahead, and they're developing to stay further ahead. So it's managing this impossible gap of like they take a step forward, Ducati will have also taken a step forward. So the gap will remain the same. So
they should just let everything go. If that's the case, then let them go open testing, and this way they can use the money they have.
And I told you that they've already said open testing is too expensive.
You can't have everything.
Yeah, but
you can have your cake and eat it too. Yeah, you know.
But 1 second, right? Like it is Honda and Yamaha's problem, right? Which then turned into the whole grid's problem, right? But Honda and Yamaha were asleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Europeans came in, they out-engineered them from day one, realistically, because they looked at the bike in a completely different concept. But at the end of the day, under the current regulations that are in place, with 200 tires a year for every team that is fair and balanced in whatever, they would never, ever, ever close that gap. Never. Yep. Not in a million years.
It was shocking to me when I found out that Ducati, the first year in MotoGP, they got 9 podiums. And I thought, my God, if they didn't go completely go 360 the wrong direction with that carbon frame, right? Carbon chassis. Mm-hmm. If they had just went, okay, and went right to the box section aluminum frame from there, how far would they have been? We'd have had this discussion years ago of them trampling all over everybody.
We would, but look, like at the end of the day, it's not just an innovation in one area where the majority of the European manufacturers are ahead of the Japanese. You can't just say it's just aerodynamics, right? It's the whole vehicle dynamics is where they're far ahead.
Well, most people are saying it's just the aerodynamics.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like when you look at the innovations that they're coming up with now. I do solidly believe, and this is kind of a big statement, right? I do kind of solidly believe that Gigi is not the ringleader, is not the main man that comes up with all of the good ideas, right? I think he's just a really good leader with an engineering. Mm-hmm. So, I believe he fully understands the whole thing. A little bit like in Red Bull, where this guy, Adrian Newey, who everyone says, it's an Adrian Newey designed car. Adrian Newey works 100 days a year. Do you know what I mean? He's not full-time employed by Red Bull. Right. Do you know what I mean? He understands the car. He understands aerodynamics. His major thesis leaving college was ground effect and all of this. So, the man is an absolute genius, and he helps troubleshoot the ideas. But because of his past of where he was involved, every team that he's went to has won world championships. I will say that, right? 100%. But he's very old school. He doesn't draw the cars. For him, the car is not done on CAD. He would draw the car out on an old drawing board. And he would draw all the components and this, that, and the other, right? So that how I call it is that you have the feel of what the car is going to be like and stuff like that. But I think Gigi is just like the Adrian Newey of motorbikes, right? And in that respect, he brings everyone together and he brings the package together.
Right.
So
no man is an island in that. That's why it's a team. There's no.
Yeah. There's a lot within that team, right? But if you were to look, and I can guarantee this in the whole Yamaha and Honda group, there's no central figure like that. If you look at Aprilia, Rivola is ex-Ferrari, mm-hmm. Formula One. Do you know what I mean? And again, he would have had different departments rolling into one major package. So it's kind of putting every department together and then working. But each department is working solidly with each other. It's not like, well, you told us build an engine that has 338 brake horsepower. Do you know what I mean? We gave you that engine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a lot more to it. So look, for me, when I look at it, I would hope with their extra testing, Yamaha and Honda will have something. But like realistically, it's the 2025 bike where we will see a Misano that I would be expecting to see a big jump forward in performance from there. But I will 100% say this. I would not be 100% surprised in Sepang next year if the gap is still the same.
Keith Ewan says, when that bike, he goes, I'm going to bet everybody out there, put it on record, that the 800cc bike's going to come out here, it's going to be faster than the 1,000cc's. You know what? Everyone went, what? Are you on dope?
Wait.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, the 800cc's, the World Superbike's going to be faster. They're not. That's not hope. Not hope. Maybe for the first year, then the development kicks in. And like for me, I would turn around to someone and say, okay, get a superbike and completely change the regulations to make it slower.
Yeah, I think
and see who develops faster. Do you know what I mean? And you can guarantee, you know.
So you think they're going to change it?
I think the superbike will be faster unless they dumb the superbike down.
No.
From current right now, if they don't dumb it down, it's going to be faster than.
I still expect, and this is no word of a lie, I still expect the 800cc's to be pushing 300 brake horsepower.
I don't see how it not with the board change. That was a real kicker. Not with the board change. That's
pretty good. And the new fuel too, with that new fuel in it.
I think
I think it's supposed to be on par with regular fuel. Now, why in God's name did they cut it down? If it's supposed to be renewable, we shouldn't need to cut it down, right? Isn't that the whole point?
No. Renewable and green are two different things, Jake.
Okay.
What's the purpose of that, of cutting it down?
Well, they're like the displacement of the engine is lower, so therefore you don't need the 22 liters. You only need 20. Do you know what I mean? But again, it's like realistically in it, you know, the bore size, yeah, but that brings it more into line with road bikes. So there is a road bike relevancy there to it.
If I'm not mistaken, it's like beyond road bikes. We said it's
70. No, I think it's in line with it. And then with the sustainable or the renewable fuels, if it's
I know. I think what about when you have a prototype experimental, when you have something that's made for, you know, tech and innovation. I don't care about I don't want to hear about the, you know, it's good for road bikes. You know, is the transmissions, you know, is that good for road bikes? Is a carbon fiber brakes good for road bikes? None of that stuff's good for road bikes. It's applicable, you know. So
well, yeah, but then all of a sudden, Jake, then you're counterproductive then to your aerodynamics, right? That's all the bikes.
I know.
You don't need aero.
So not just 5 minutes ago there, you said a phrase that you can't have your cake and eat it. Do you know what I mean?
No, I meant I was talking about spending money. They can't have what they want and not spend money.
Majority of the cost that they're going to be spending it is on aero.
No, it'll be the engine.
No, aero all day long.
Mm-mm.
Yep, 100%.
Aero and electronics will be way over.
What?
Aero and the electronics. Engine and the electronics.
Aero, guaranteed. You know how much it costs to run a wind tunnel for an hour?
I know how much it costs for a wind tunnel for an hour.
Do you know how much it costs to rent a team like the Lara?
How much does it cost to have 160 engineers change direction. You have to make a whole new engine.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like, do you know what I mean? They're already employed anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're already employed anyway.
It's not a new cost.
It's zero, I guess. You don't have to give them a paycheck.
Yeah, it's not a new cost. It's already a defined cost.
It's already in there.
I don't see, unless they run the dual engine program, which I don't think that they're going to be doing. I don't see them hiring new people, so I don't see the cost going up on staffing, which will be probably one of their biggest costs.
Yeah, great racing. Anyway. They needed these new regulations, like we need a case of the clap.
I don't know. I think they needed the new regulations to get a hold of the aero. Do you know, personally, that's that's my
you need to update. You need to update every now and then.
Yeah, Grandpa, come on, get up into the 2027s. You know, isn't that you call me?
Yeah, Grandpa. Yeah, Grandpa.
Yeah. And this one, I'm Grandpa, and I'm open to the changes. You know, you're stuck back in the 2018.
Yeah, but you don't want the aero. You don't want electronics. You know.
No, excuse me. One sec now. I don't want.
No rideries.
When did I say that I don't want aero? Never said it.
No, you're right. He doesn't want it. You're right. You're smart enough to know that.
The second thing, electronics. I don't want the riders babied. That's all I've ever said about electronics. I believe that these are the best riders in the world, and they should be being challenged on the best bikes in the world. Not, I'm going to flick a switch, and when the next time that I crack the throttle, the back of the bike is going to go down, and it's going to sit there. I'm very happy to have them traction control and all of this stuff if they want it, but I don't want stuff that makes their life easy.
Did you think they should have left the ride height for going down the straightaways?
No, I think for the start.
You can only use it for the start. That makes sense. Yeah,
but you can't. It's completely gone. But I think
it's gone. Yeah.
The only time that they should be doing it, and the only reason for that, right, is I would be terrified of someone looping it and the rider being in the middle of the thing when everyone is taking off. Whereas if they're coming out of a corner and they loop it, you know, they're going to be spat one way or the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas at the start, if they looped it, they're in the track and there's fucking 20 bikes coming after them. They're dead. Like, do you know what I mean? I
think they should I don't see a problem taking that the ride height off if they put in active suspension.
Well, they're going to have active aero, aren't they?
No.
Or some sort of thing. I don't know what they're going to have something anyway. Someone is going to come up with something. But
I think they should have something to replace it. Like, you know what I mean? Like the old active suspension that they had way back when, and we have on our bikes. We have on our street bikes.
Yeah, I don't know. Like again, there's also the downside to that. Like, you look at what happened Pecco in the sprint race, and the bike went fucking demented. I can fucking guarantee you, the bike lost where it was. It was a GPS problem. Guarantee you.
Yeah.
Because what he was saying is that the bike was wheeling when it shouldn't have been wheeling, so that means the bike was getting full fucking power when it shouldn't have been getting full power. Do you know what I mean? Because they had that bike.
It happened with Miller too. 2 years ago, remember?
Yep. And you're just like,
that's what he was talking about. He was like, I'm giving it power. There's no power. I think that was in Qatar, and he blew up. He was like, "Yeah, what's wrong? This fucking bike is. I'm giving it power. There's no power. It's all over the place. Is this?" And I was like, "What is he talking about? How is it doing that?"
So you can. So yeah, but it is quite interesting. Now I'm not an expert on it, but my basic understanding is that you can give a coordinates to where the bike is in the track, and you can say at this stage where I crack the throttle open, when I crack it fully open, I'm actually to get 85% throttle rather than 100% throttle. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So
yep.
And my Aprilia has that. My Aprilia has
R1M, all those bikes, yeah.
But it builds it by corner. So obviously your throttle, but also your slip as well. Do you know what I mean? So your spin and you can dial it in So like you see some of the corners there where the lads are going on and they're spinning the rear tire. They could have a setting done where the corner before they might have had a 6% spin in the rear, but for that corner they know they have to spin it. So without wearing off the tire, if they up the spin a little bit more, just going through that section, they'll wear less in the tire, but it because the tire will spin easier rather than having it up in the higher rev spinning it. So there's little things that you can dial into it. It is very, very interesting in a way. Do you know what I mean? But again, my choice on my bikes, I don't want the electronics, if I'm very honest, because I enjoy when I'm riding my wrist, my head, and my arse talking to each other.
So do I. I mean, I don't turn any of that crap on. I really don't. But for racing, I figured, there's, like I said, even now, you got to admit that it was good that they said to people, you hear them saying that the aero you can't just take it all off, because people were still saying, remember I said they were going to say that? People were saying, oh, you got to take it all off. You didn't take anything. You didn't take it all off. He said, it's not easier said than done.
Well, no, and I've stated this fact over and over again. The only bikes that will do any better if you take the aero off are the Japanese bikes. The other bikes will crash badly every time, because the Japanese bikes, the Japanese MotoGP bikes are not built with aero in mind. They're all mechanical grip, mechanical this, and then bolt on the aero.
Isn't that what happened with the Casey Stoner era and Rossi tried to ride it? The bike was all over the place, and then they threw and then they threw the aero on, and then that was when Dovizioso and
I don't remember Rossi riding the aero. I think Rossi was gone when the aero came.
Yeah,
right. So he was having issues controlling that, and you think that when they threw the aero on, it made the Ducati more controllable.
It did, yeah. It stabilized it, right, to a point, right? Like Dobby, it was no coincidence when, as soon as they started developing the wings, that things got better for Ducati, right?
Yep.
But like the KTM, the Aprilia, the Ducati, they were built in with 5 fundamental values in it, right? All
better. This Ducati was better than the Japanese bikes way before the wings came.
No,
like when Dovey was riding, if you just switched Dovey.
What year did Dovizioso go to Ducati?
Yeah, when Dovey was riding
what year did he go to Ducati?
Oh God, what was it? 2014?
Yeah, 13, 14, something.
15. No. It was
15, 16. Rossi went back to Yamaha, wasn't it?
Right.
So it was in around then, right? And they started to experiment with the small side wings, right? And where I actually call them, what I would actually call them, I think it was 15, 16, 17, they were using the Super Leggero type wings.
So they're like
so they weren't really effective, right? And that's where so they moved it onto that. But saying that again, the European bikes are designed with aero in mind from concept. So if you took the aero off them now, they'd be missing one of their main concept values, which would mean that they won't perform at all. Whereas with the Japanese bikes, they were never designed with aero in mind. Never. You know what I mean? Like the only one that would be somewhat advanced in the aero terms is Honda, and they still don't understand it. So
I thought that at least the Honda was made with was with aero in mind, because they just had a new bike. It's not been that long ago. That bike is the RC13 came out.
The RC13?
Yeah, the RC came out. The RCV 213 came out in what, 2020?
No.
Yeah, what?
Geez, the RC213 is fucking years old.
Right. But I mean, the last model, whatever that was, the ones the new when they came out with the new.
I'll put it to you this way, Jake. Right, Honda have not run a similar type of aero in the past 3 years. Every time you see the bike, there's different fucking.
Paul Espargaro wrote when they signed Paul Espargaro. When did they sign?
Yeah, they had the skilly front Yamaha like wings on it. Remember?
Yeah,
and then they went to box.
They had the new bike, the one we were all waiting for. We said,
Oh yeah, but they went for the concept of the bike, but that was that again, Jake. That was not aero based. That was about moving the weight of the bike from the front to the rear.
Oh, I thought that bike had Barrow in mind, but at that point, that was 2019 or 2020.
Yeah, but all that was moving the rear bias back, or moving to a rear bias bike rather than a front bias.
Really? I thought they had at least started then.
No, and they don't understand aero, which I find very funny. But anyway, it is what it is. Anyway, on that bombshell, I think we will wrap up for today, lads. It's an hour and 45 minutes. I'll be right, so most people won't get back.
This one. Well.
Yeah, but we will be back again next week. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll have to do something for the 100th one. I don't know. We'll do something. Anyway, on that one, we will see you all again next week. Have fun, enjoy, be good, and if you can't be good, don't get caught.
Yeah. Take care, folks.